Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Kick It Podcast brought to you by Kick It Labs. Of course, we are broadcasting this to you live from beautiful Oceanside. My name is Victor V, joined by my brother Bruce.
Yo.
We got the producer in the back, Mr. Piccolo, and the rest of the boys are kind of taking a break. So no Louis today. Maybe later on in the episode, we'll see. No Oside Lens, but you know they stay busy. Regardless, we are running a great episode today. So thank you guys for joining us. If you guys haven't done so, please make sure to follow Kick It Labs on all major platforms, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can stream or follow us at. Please make sure to visit those pages and give us a like and a share, and if possible, a nice little subscribe. And on that note, we do have a very, very awesome and special guest joining us today. We are joined by Julian right here at Kick It Podcast, and I'm ready. Julian, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good. I'm ready to start this podcast with you guys.
Sweet. Could we get you a little bit closer to the mic, my guy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a
sorry
little bit.
about
There you
that.
go. Perfect.
Yeah. However you want to get. Yeah, man. So I want to go ahead and get this started. Before we talk about, your hat being in the race, can you go ahead and tell us a bit about your upbringing? How your household and how many brothers and siblings, if how many brothers and sisters you have, if you had any, how you grew up in the household.
Yeah. So I'm one of four kids.
All
I'm first generation from my dad's side here in the United States,
That's right.
and from my mom's side, I'm fifth generation.
Oh wow.
So my great grandma, they are from Mexico. They came here. She was born and raised in Old Town before Old Town is what it is now. My grandma is born here. My grandma owns a house on Santa Barbara and Bush. She built the house and raised all of her generations there. I'm one of four kids, so I have one older sister. It's me, I'm the second, and then I have a younger sister and a younger brother. We've been in Oceanside a long time. Good roots here. My grandmother worked fields. My great grandma's worked in the fields. My mom's worked for the school district here in Oceanside for a very long time. A lot of people know her. Started off as a noon duty, worked her way up. She's a teacher assistant now. Works with special education, and then
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's super bad. Yeah, especially like you said, having that many generations behind you, because Oceanside and North County used to be a lot of farmland, from what I hear. I mean, I don't know. I'm a first generation myself, so just hearing these stories from all the people and how things have changed throughout the years, it's insane.
Yeah. So my grandma actually worked here in Oceanside in the field, so she did tomato picking, packed strawberries. So we've been here a long time. I know the Oceanside community really well. I'm from the East Side neighborhood here in Oceanside, and went to school here. I've been raised here. I'm born here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get right to it. When did you find yourself wanting to start a political campaign?
So, never. To be honest, never. So, ever since I was 18, I've ran and I've volunteered for the elections here in San Diego.
Yeah.
I've worked in the Chavez Center here in Oceanside, hosting voting pools for people to come out and vote. And I've always done this part of like my volunteer for the election. My grandma has always told us like, run for city council, and it's that thing where I've always been like, I don't want to get into politics. It's never something I wanted to do. But this last election in November, the way things turned out, it was kind of like, okay, I sat on it for a little bit, and then it was, I don't know, something just was like, okay, someone needs to be the voice for the people who are lost in between. We don't fall for the Democrats. We don't fall for Republicans. They're too partied. They're too much politicians. No one trusts them anymore. We need a real candidate. And one of the people I follow a lot is AOC out in New York, and I've seen how she has turned the Bronx into something amazing. How she's actually a real representation of her people. She's fought for her people, and I felt like we needed that here in San Diego, especially with this last election, and that's why I jumped in. It's been a mission.
Been a mission. Okay, so this past election went ahead and struck a nerve up in you and just lit up the fire to go ahead and just start the whole darn thing. Have well, what was your introduction to it? Did you needed like some guidance into it? Or some people, got you show how the paperwork is? Because I've heard the paperwork is it's something else.
You hear it every single election year.
Yeah, no, the paperwork, I will tell you, it took me months. It is written in a language that it's meant for us not to be able to read as normal people. It's meant to keep us out of these systems, out of these political systems, to keep our voices down. And I'll be honest, it was hard. It was hard. I was reading things, and it's not. They make it so that way you have to do all these loopholes, all these circles, all these runarounds to even be able to get into a position where your name is even considered for it. So there's steps, and for instance, for days I was calling the Attorney General office here in California.
Oh, really?
Because you have to. I didn't know how to do it. I did it myself, and you have to file paperwork here in the state to open up a political campaign bank account. Yeah. And that time frame that they give us, I work. And that time frame is 2 hours in the day that they're not busy, that they can answer the phone in that office. And so you just have to call every day just to get like someone to finally answer your phone or something. And and then once you do that, then you have to register a candidate. And then your organization that you have to create this whole business. You have to get a TIN, you have to do all these things just to even get into like a ballpark of playing. It's things that you would not know you had to do to run for office unless you're in the political game. And I'm not from politics. I've tried to stay away from it as long as I could. And like I said, it was just like working. Like, you're gonna ask my family, they're like, dude, you don't go to bed. You're up to like 2-3 in the morning just trying to read these papers, get these things done. And once I submitted my paperwork, it wasn't until February 6th that actually it was like, okay, I got that letter that was like, you're an unofficial candidate. You got your name in there, but now it's okay. Now you have to start raising campaign funds. Now you have to start spending money. And luckily I finally have hit that threshold this last week.
What's that threshold looking like?
It's $5,000 you have to raise in donations, and you have to spend in your campaign. And I finally was lucky enough to hit it. And so what ended up happening this weekend was I was up and re-registering. So then you re-register all over again. And this time you re-register. Okay, you check the next box. You've hit this goal. Now you resubmit all your paperwork again, and then now you come back as an official candidate. And now it's time to fight these two big dogs that are also running for this seat. So it's there.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody, don't forget, we are here with Julian Arellano running for District 49 here in North County. And it's a battle, dude, because I think right now it's Mike Levin who holds the seat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not sure if I'm correct or not, but I think like primaries or something are next year.
Yeah, so how it works is the primaries are in June, and this will kind of pick out the two candidates who are going to run for the seat in November. So the official election is next November, but the primaries is where a lot of people's voices actually really matter, is because it's going to make the decision of who do you want to represent you. You have Mike Levin, who has held the seat for the last 6 years, who is a Democrat. And then you have Desmond, who is from San Marcos, ex-mayor San Marcos, who is running for the Republican seat. And then you have Arellano, who is me. And like I said, this weekend, I've had a big tussle and turn, and I'm running as an independent. So you have 3 candidates now that the people can choose who do they want to be the final 2 to fight for that seat in November.
Okay. What can you tell us being from an independent party instead of choosing to be a Democrat or Republican, the challenges and difficulties that you had to face?
So I've always voted democratically. it's there. It's where I feel like a lot of my voice is heard. But the last couple years, I feel like my voice has been lost with the Democrats. They've just been supporting themselves as they're not. They forgot who the people are on both sides. You know, even when I talk to people on the other side who are Republicans, I always categorize them as two different type of Republicans. There's the Republicans and there's Trump Republicans. There's people who support the Trump, because I've talked and I've spoken to a lot of Republicans who didn't come out and vote this last term because their voice wasn't heard anymore. Their people's voice wasn't heard anymore. And I've heard that a lot from Democrats as well. Like, you know, I don't want to keep voting for these politicians who they don't care about us at the end of the day. And this is why I decided ultimately to run as independent, because I feel a lot of people don't agree with either side and the voices are just lost. And, you know, and this is why I eventually ultimately decided that independent was the way to go, because it gives people, you don't have to pick right or left. You actually have someone in the middle who you want to learn and listen to what they're saying, and you can agree with that person, show that support.
Yeah, and you know what? I've actually heard this back in school where, yeah, you have the mainstream, which is either blue or red, but the majority of people are straight down the middle. They agree on certain things from this side and certain things from the other side, but it's just trying to get a candidate that could actually help you out with both sides and not just one or the other. That it's tricky, but you know, I definitely wish you the best of luck, brother, because I mean, you already just filing. We heard it a couple of elections ago. Just filing alone, it's such a fee, such a hassle. But I really appreciate the grind, man.
Yeah, and it, like I said, my voice was lost, and I feel like this last election, like, you know, for a couple of years, it's always just I've just voted the only Democrat that's been on the ballot, so I just voted for them because there was no one who I've been like, and I've seen these other people like Bernie Sanders and AOC from other districts, so I'm like, damn, I want someone to represent me who's like that, who has that fire, who actually cares about the people who they are representing. And I was like, you know, it's that saying, you wanted something to change, you got to do it yourself. Sometimes you want something done, can't wait for someone else to step up and do it. You got to put your voice out there and see what happens, you know.
Yeah, no, and we could definitely see that fire from you, Julian. Just going through all the steps that you were talking about previously, I mean, not gonna lie, dude, I probably would have given up like as soon as I didn't understand like 3 sentences.
Yep, you're talking about the definitions. You're talking about litigations on those definitions. You got talking about stipulations as well too. There's just all types of things all around. After going through the paperwork, what are some concerns and topics that you hear that the people want to address? What kind of changes do you hear that people want?
So there's a good thing you guys bringing up. On the 19th, I'm actually hosting a down hall where I want people to come out and actually talk about what they want. Where I want to hear, like, if you go on my website, I talk about the biggest things that are important to me, which is immigration, civil rights, as in women's rights, LGBT rights, and also affordable housing. It's it's crazy how rent is so high, and like even people who are working minimum wage full time, have not only a full time job, a part time job, can't qualify for any housing. They make too much for assistance. They don't make enough sometimes to qualify for certain apartments, and it's just this, like, there's a lot of people who are just we're just normal people, and we came and do these things. For instance, it's like car insurance, something that we have to have, and yet it's so expensive. Why? If it's something that there are thousands of people who have to have this, there should be some type of cap of what we have to pay, because you just have these big companies just making money. And it's like, for instance, my car, it's like me paying 2 car payments. My car payment plus the insurance, it's literally 2 car payments, and that takes away from like normal people, and then you have to add on all these other things in there. So it's a lot. And so this is why on the 19th in Oceanside at the Civic Center, I am hosting the town hall, because I want people to come out, and I want to hear what other people want. I know what I'm ready to fight for, and if you go on my website,
What's the
click
website's name?
Arellano for Congress.
Say it one more time.
ArellanoForCongress.com.
There you go.
And if you go on the website, if you click under what I'm about, you can click on each thing, and it breaks into specifics, and it talks about like what is the plan for this that I have, and how I've broken it down, not in a political way, because trust me, I read these articles, I read these briefings that they publish, and they're written in a language that normal people don't understand. And so what I've done is I've rewritten this into something that everyone can understand, that you can go on there and you could read it like an easy book. I don't use any big fancy words that just you can use something so simple to use, and like I said, the 19th, I want to hear people. I want to hear those people in my district. I don't care if you're red, you're blue. Come. I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear why are you this, why are you that, like what really is important to you. We saw the other day on the 5th, on Saturday, you have the hands-off marches, and the turnouts that came not only from here in Oceanside, not only in San Diego,
nationwide,
but nationwide. People are tired, and these things are amazing. This shows you that people want to change, and that's why I'm in this race.
What time are you looking for people to meet you up at the Civic Center?
So the Civic Center, that event starts at 2 and it goes till 6 p.m. I've organized a few small businesses. Like if small business wants to get in touch, go to my website, go to contact us, and I'll have a table for you. It's not only just like, it's a resource fair as well. So I have different organizations coming out who have different resources for a community that people don't know that they have access to. And if you are one of these nonprofit organizations that can help, contact me on the website. You can email us at ArellanoForCongress at Gmail, and let us know. We want people like this to come out because it's a community thing, even though it's one person in the seat. I want to hear from everybody. I want to make sure that a lot of times all these politicians, they forget about who they really represent, and they don't even know who their neighbors are, and that's bad. And so this is what I'm running this from I'm not a politician running into a game that is a bunch of politicians, and I want people to see it's a little bit different. I'm a different person, not just another politician out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now we actually heard the way that the game kind of works from like some of the people that we know out here, and it does take time, man. Like even once you do get the seat, it's just favors here, favors there, so that eventually your agenda starts, getting a couple of assignments scratched off the list. But go ahead, Bruce.
Where's your viewpoint with AI and how it should be regulated through California's own government?
Good one.
Ooh, with AI. This is the world we're getting into.
Yeah.
So we have to start advancing it ourselves. Like even ChatGPT, a lot of people are against ChatGPT being used in schools. But if we know that this is a technology that's coming, and we know that these are the things that are coming, we have to start advancing it. Like a lot of people, I went to school for a long time, and I've had professors be like, I need a 8-page paper with 20 resources, and ChatGPT can do that for me in like 2 seconds.
Right.
And it can do it for a lot of people. And what people need to start doing is start changing curriculums to accommodate, dude, these kids out here are smarter than us with tablets. There are kids out here who are on tablets that are like 2 years old, that are doing things. I've seen my nephews play games, and I'm like, dude, I didn't even know you can do that.
Yep.
And they're more advanced, and we just have to start. We have to keep up with it. We have to start figuring out different ways to use technology to better things for us. For instance, like the calculator. Before it was AI, it was the calculator math. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't use a calculator; it's cheating." But why not use it in a way that you show people how to use it to help them as a tool? We can use AI as a tool to help people with a lot of things. ChatGPT, a lot of people, there's a lot of people out there who struggle in writing, and they use ChatGPT as a tool because they're dyslexic, or they don't have the education, or they can't translate something. Here in San Diego, we're so diverse with different types of people with different languages, and ChatGPT is amazing in this. It can help you write an email to someone in a more professional way. Like, you can write it, and then it just makes it more professional. And it's a tool. As long as we start using these advancements as tools, and we teach people that they're tools and how to use them, then I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, because you see, most Americans in this country are concerned about losing their jobs and professions to artificial intelligence. I mean, that's why in different countries now they're implicating on putting AI studies to even elementary children, starting as young, like China, for example, starting as young as 6 or 7 years old, teaching them how to use AI properly for the future, you know. And then of course you see the AI system being entwined into like fast food restaurants and stuff like that, man. It's a fast progressing world, and I know you've seen it. I mean, you're coming like from before the digital age, you know.
Yeah. I was born before Google was, so
When Google had its name.
but it, like I said, like we have to teach people how to use these things as tools, like not be against them, not fight them. Like, I think like teachers should use ChatGPT in their classrooms as a resource to help better papers for their students, but you have to start using these methods in difference. Like I said, like you just have to change your curriculum. Maybe you're outdated, and you just have to refreshen yourself to use these tools to help better. Like I use the calculator all the time for the best example. A lot of times, like when I was going to school, a lot of teachers who were like, "Oh, you can't use a calculator. Calculator is cheating." But why? Calculators make our life easier. It helps. It makes things go faster. And like you were saying, with a lot of jobs, you know, kids are starting to learn more things like computer designing and graphics, and it just changes. You know, there's some things that AI can't do, labor jobs or all these like plumbing, electrician. There's so many things out there so many jobs that you don't even think of, like elevator technician.
Right.
You know, and
or even people that put up the fences for
Yeah.
like events.
yeah, there's you don't think about these jobs. You just think a lot of people, myself included, you know, you just always hear like, oh, you need to go to college. You have to do this.
As a matter of fact, that's what you did as well. You went to college.
Right? Yeah.
What was what did you study for? What was your major?
It was so college for me was hard. So I started college a long time ago. I started here at Maricosta, and I've always worked. When I went to school, I've always had 2 jobs, 1 job, balancing school full time in between. And even myself going to school, you start with a dream, and you're like, I want to be a doctor. And so you get into those courses, and you're like, you know what? Trigonometry is not my cup of tea right there. So I'm not going down that route. And then you're like, you know what? I want to do this. And I changed my major. I've been in every major you can think of in Maricosta: math, science, history, and I ended up with communications because I took one course with the professor, and she was very, very onto it, as in she knew. She was a single mom. She put herself through school. She worked, and she was like, the way she taught communications, it made you actually want to study it, because you're like, okay, you know what? Actually, this is such a broad subject. Like, you actually learn people, you learn like history, you learn a little bit of everything in that. It's such an umbrella subject. Even myself, like I've always, even now to this day, I'm like, okay, I want to go back to school. I want to finish my original goal, which was to get into a law program, and try to do like immigration law or something to help people.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you still remember the teacher's name who kind of inspired you?
Oh, I can't even pronounce the last name. Rachel Holstein.
Holstein. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Holstein or Holstein,
Yeah.
depending on how they are. Their preference.
Yeah, but like she literally was. I think, and this was one of my things I always tell people is like, I went to Maricosta and I loved it. It was a big community of people. And no, I'm not paid by Maricosta. I actually love Maricosta. I was there for years. I didn't graduate from Maricosta, my associate, for years because I just started changing my major, got into like wanting to get into nursing, did micro, did all these little things, and I was like, kept changing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was when I went to a 4-year, and I was like, you know what? This sucks. Like you lose that community. And I always said like, dang, like I wish Maricosta offered a program in this because I would go back there. I loved it. It's a great school. I think it's a good place for people to start. And just the people who are out there, and I've got people who are there like, oh, you start community college. Who cares?
Right, you gotta
Who
start
cares?
somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere.
And
Absolutely.
the only way is up afterwards.
Yeah, and there's other people who have easier routes in life, and they go from high school and they have college educated parents who are doctors and lawyers, and they know the routine to get their kids into all these big colleges. But hey, start somewhere.
Right.
And
then I don't want to cut you off. We are going to continue on with the interview, but we do want to touch in on some people that are touching base on the live. This is a live interview going on. Victor, can you go on with the comments?
Yes, sir. So shout out to everybody tuning in. Don't forget, we are here with Julian Arellano. I'm going to go straight to the YouTube real quick. I think it says Raymond. Sorry, I can't read it. Oh, Reyna, my bad. I can't read the last name, Reyna. Saying he's always been an amazing person in the community. Definitely has my support.
Hey.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on to the IG and then see.
All right. Shout out to the Instagram. Shout out to Humble Photography, DJ Nombre, Invincible s8e5
saying sup, fellas.
Yeah, what it do, bro?
Talk about Maricosta College. Triple OG Comics just made an appearance out there on campus themselves when there was a festival going on this past weekend. Shout out to you guys, and shout out to the grind, man. That don't stop. Yeah, and we do appreciate everyone tapping onto the live. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It does help out on getting this content being pushed out and getting the message through all the way through. What kind of message? The kind of message that each and every one of these individuals that hop on to this platform that want to carry on some positivity going on in this world. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Nothing but positivity out here from Kika Labs. And Julian, I got to ask you, man, because you're starting, you said the 19th. You want to get a little forum and bring people from the city to get their voices heard. I know that the primaries are not until next year, right?
Yeah. So
from now until next year, are you planning on maybe doing a couple more all throughout the district?
Yeah. So starting with home, we're the biggest city in the district. I'm blessed to be from Oceanland. I have a strong roots here. And the goal is, this is the first one. This is my first one. I'm nervous for the first one. And after this is just, I want to start trying to set one up. My team, we're already looking at getting one done in Carlsbad, moving one down in Encinitas, going up to Orange County and San Clemente and trying to get something set up there as well.
Yep.
But I'm not a rich candidate, so it's gonna take one at a time, month by month is how I'm going. I'm, just more support, and that's where like donations, like on my website, donate. That helps get the word out. That helps people come and voice their opinions. I'm out at these protests, at these rallies. I'm there. I'm here with you guys. Like, I want to see a change myself, and like I said, I have to be on the ground doing it. So there's events back to back, and yeah,
get on the grind.
Yeah.
Another subject I want to get to that's also on the topic is gasoline cars. We're seeing it in the future. California wants to convert everything into electric. And then there's a lot of voices uprising about other classic cars and old school cars.
Yeah.
It's like if you take out our gasoline vehicles, does that mean you're going to be taking out the classic cars and the old school cars and also the car shows along with it, or are we just all going to be converting everything to
No, I think
electric?
you might want to take a double look at that, Bruce. I think it's just not being able to purchase anything beyond 2035 that is not electric here in the States. Well, I mean, at least in the state of California. Everything previous to that should be okay until we run out of fossil fuels.
Like even registration wise.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole smog thing, but yeah, I think so.
Well, that's the thing about it. Are they gonna go ahead and carry on smog after?
They should, yes.
Yeah.
They
but
should.
you know
But are
what?
they going to?
But you know what? Let's switch it over to Julian. I want to get his opinion real quick.
It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna you.
Oh yeah.
And technology's coming. I'll tell you. I have a gasoline car, but I've driven an electric vehicle. I've rented one, and hey, they're kind of stressful sometimes. And I rented one. I was in another state. I used to travel a lot for work, so I visited a lot of states, and some places aren't as advanced as the electric car system as California. It's other countries have different things. Like you go like to Brazil, and one thing that one of my mom's car, she has a Suburban, and it's hybrid. It takes ethanol fuel, and it's just a different source of fuel, and all these little things that can help. But here in California with electric cars, what's going to end up happening? The power grids, and you people look at it like, okay, we have this part of it, but do we have the back end of it, which are the power grids to support all this electric vehicles? Right. You have to, like, it takes more than just the front. You have to remember there's all these other things in the background. It's like running for office. I took all these other little steps before I even could get my name on that ballot. Like you have to. Everything's like this, and 2035, it's gonna come fast. And okay, maybe at that point, by that time, not selling any more gas vehicles maybe in this state might work, but you have to. There's so many other people out there. There's so many other things. It's like classic cars. There's certain ones that you only can order certain parts from special magazines, and I know this because my parents own classic cars. So
that's right.
You have to like, takes time. Everything takes time. And nothing's just special right now with what's going on with Tesla and all this. You have this big push for this, maybe because he's the president's best friend, and they're just trying to make more money for these billionaires out there. But like eventually, we have to do it little by little. It's gonna take steps.
Yep, we gotta start healing as a country.
Yeah.
And this has been all crazy all around talking about. That's why the whole protest went down all around on Saturday.
Yeah.
About that. You were out there yourself?
Yeah. I was down in San Diego, and then I ended up coming out this way. I didn't make it to the Oceanside one, but I saw from a lot of other people who I do have on social media, and I was like very proud of Oceanside. I didn't know Oceanside was gonna have their own here in the city, which is why I went down to San Diego. But it's all this, like, we have to stand up. There's a lot more of us than there are of them, and our voices do matter. Our opinions do matter, and they'll see it. All these boycotts that people have been doing, they're feeling it in their pockets. The Amazon, the Targets felt it. All these big companies have felt it. I think Walmart needs to start feeling it too one of these days, and we can make a difference. There's a lot of us to make a difference, and we have to stand together. That's what it is. We have to all stand together.
Okay. What kind of bills would you introduce if you were put up in Congress?
So one of my biggest, there's a lot of things on the website, but one of my biggest one is immigration. It's making, everyone always talks about, immigration, being Latino myself, but there were such good programs before where you can come, work, go back, come again, work for another 3 months, go back, and you would use that and work and start building your resume to start filing for citizenship and your papers or your visas and pathways. There has to be more pathways for people to come here, quote unquote, the legal way, without being discriminated, because you have all these people who are they're abused and because they don't have papers, and you have all these field workers who need support. They need someone to actually have their back, because we're going to lose them. We're going to get harder on them, and things for us are just going to go up. Prices of food's going up. We see it already. We see it taking effect with all these immigration raids that are happening all over the country. People are afraid to go to their grocery store. They're afraid to do all these things because you have people getting deported who are veterans, who are citizens, who are here on visas, and especially right now with this prison that they created in El Salvador, where they're just sending immigrants who are here illegally.
Well, the prison's been there. It's just that there's been now just this understanding to send them down there.
Yeah, and they're people who let's say you're Mexican, you've never been there, and they're sending you here for this other country to decide your fate, and that's not okay. You have no roots there. You don't know anybody there, and if they're going to deport you, send you back to your country of origin, and not to some place that it's just, in my opinion, a way to make profit, because we are paying this prison to house these immigrants. So it's just another one of these loopholes for them to keep their rich friends, their billionaire friends, in power and with money. And there's no, like, if you really, like, they're really against it, they'll send you back to your home country, not to this prison where probably one of these other rich billionaires owns it, and it's just a way to funnel out money from the U.S. government.
Right. And you were talking about it. You think we need to get more prison reforms in our own country itself?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about that? You're talking about, like, our prison system being its own, like, industry itself of free labor at times. I mean, there's even, like, bills up there, like, when we vote that affect the prison system.
Yeah, prisons here, there's a lot of injustice in in this country, whether or not a lot of people want to see it. There's a lot of still racism in this country. And prisons are one of the ways that you keep these rich people richer, because they build a prison and they get paid to house these people, and a lot of people get sent there for little things. It's mostly, a lot of times, they're racially profiled, they're getting pulled over, and they're just getting sent to these jails. They're getting overwhelmed, and it's just, like I said, it's another way to funnel out U.S. funds into a system that's not for us. It's not for the people. It's really just for these billionaires to have some type of way to keep making profit off of people. And they use, a lot of times, people's own hate in where they're from, which is with the racial profiling, and they're playing on these things where they're like, oh, I know these people hate each other. We're just gonna create a prison here and get these prisons filled with the hatred that's going on here, the racial profiling, and they're just gonna make money off of it. And the rest of us we're not that we're not all paying attention, but we need to start waking up to all these things, that where these money is funneling from. You have who are funding all these things, and where's all the money going, and that's where we have to start following the trails of money for these.
Absolutely. Who said that? I think it was
Follow the money.
Yeah. Esther said that.
It was Esther.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great quote from her. Yeah, follow the money, and you'll see where the answer is. And I really do appreciate your answer on immigration, man, because, like, some people don't see it like, oh, it's just the bad guys and this and that. Like, no, there's a lot of good people out here, man. And like you said, there needs to be like a segue or some way to make everybody feel safe, because a lot of people are, like, as you mentioned, that they're scared, dude. And I don't know, like, I'm still a little upset, and we brought it up in the episode previously, the gold card that was like,
oh yeah,
$10 million, like, kind of stuff is that, dude? Like, and again, if you don't follow the money,
so you let rich criminals in, right?
Yeah, that's how it is, and it even goes off of that, where right now it's kind of, I see it as a war on Latinos, basically. You have all these people who everyone just assumes they're Mexican. Oh, they're just they could be Puerto Rican. A lot of people
Haitians,
hate
Salvadorians, Canadians,
but Puerto Rican, they're U.S. citizens, and a lot of people don't remember this at times, and they just see them. Oh, look at that Mexican, or oh, look at that Latino, like, and they forget they're actual citizens. Those people actually have papers. They're born with it. They're lucky, and that hate, that discrimination, that war on Latinos puts them in a perspective of where they're just like, oh, send that person back to their country, and you're like, well, hey, they're actually U.S. citizens, you know. Or even here, you know, I'm lucky to be more fair skinned with colored eyes. You know, I'm white passing. I'm lucky for this. My brother's not. My brother looks more like my dad. He's more darker skin. He has brown eyes, and so, like, I've been lucky enough to not personally feel a lot of discrimination until I started traveling into other states with my old job. And that's when I started realizing, like, hey, you know what? My brown's a little bit more. I look a little bit more brown in some stores than other people, and so this hate, I've always seen it through, like, when my brother goes with me to the store, you know, or certain people are with me or my friends, and they're more profiled than oh, who's this white guy with them, you know. And I'll be honest, I use my white privilege all the time to fight for people all the time. And some people are afraid to speak up because they're just always getting profiled. They're always in this, where I have a little bit of that, like, white passing privilege. So I'll use it. I'll use it to my advance, and I'll stick up for people and fight for people all the time, and be like, hey, you know, that's not cool. Don't do that. Why are you judging this person, like, just because of what they look like? And this war on Latinos, you know, they're always attacking the southern border. They're always fighting the southern border. They're calling Latinos murderers, rapists. You know, there's so many immigrants from so many places.
Like, it's way easier to cross through Canada. Why don't we ever talk about Canada?
Yeah, and it's because they're white. They're lighter skinned, you know. So we're not gonna attack them, you know. And a lot of this is a lot of people. That's that phrase that the border crossed them. They've been here, and
facts.
And Mexicans are indigenous to this land. Yeah, they are from this land. The border was the one that crossed them, and the border is what separated a lot of families and made you either legal or not legal, and that's not okay. They're indigenous, and so there needs to be more pathways for citizenship to reconnect families. I'll tell you, having people, I'm one of those families where we're split, you know, and you're in these holidays where you're like, do you do it here or you do it there? What do you do? Like, my nephew, I want my brother-in-law to be there for his birthday, but he can't come, you know, and so you have to do these things where, okay, we're having two parties. We're gonna have one there that includes his dad, and we're gonna have one here that includes the rest of the family, and it sucks. It really does suck, and that's that was one of the reasons, like, this last election, that like, hey, I had this, like, fight, but that's one of the things that, like, gave me that fuel, and that every day I wake up, and every day I'm like in this. That's one of the things why immigration is so important, is because I'm a product of this. My family's from this. I have loved ones on both sides. I know what it feels like to have one of your loved ones deported. You don't hear from them for days, and that stress and the war, the attack that we have right now in the Latino community, is just getting worse. It's just getting worse, and even people who are citizens here are getting attacked, or people who are with visas who now are starting to get fear that you can have your visa revoked, or, you know, there's all these crazy ideas.
Or even get sent down to El Salvador. I mean,
yeah,
talk about that famous case of that dude having papers, and he's sent down there still.
Yeah, and they lost him. You know, they can't bring him back. Like, what kind of, that's such BS there. You know, like, there should be, bring him back. Bring this poor guy back. You sent him somewhere. You arrested him with his kid in the car. You know, took him to a whole other country.
Made him a prisoner of war.
Made him a prisoner. And it's this, like this. I keep calling it a war on Latinos, because it is. It is a war on Latinos, and we have to. And it's not even just Latinos. It's a war right now on the working class.
I was just gonna say that, dude. It's the working class versus the other upper class.
Yeah, it literally is the working class. It's a war on the working class. We have all these things, which is why this rally was so important this weekend. You have attacks on our Social Security. You have attacks on all these programs. Hey, I've worked for a long time. I've paid my dues, and I not that Social Security is going to probably keep me alive for that much longer and be able to pay bills, but there's so many people out here who Social Security it barely gets them by. You know, it's just a safety net for them. And a lot of people right now, they're deciding whether they're important to, like, they're about to take away different medical programs for these senior citizens and for people assistance, like for medications, for visiting doctors. um my grandma's one of them, you know. They're Her medical costs this last month, they're crazy. It's $900 a month, you know. And it's like, where does this come out of? We're lucky we have a big family and a strong family, and we're all pitching in to just keep these medical treatments going. And all of us are doing our part in our family, at least little by little, you know. All of us put a little bit, and it gives that fee, so that way something that she had, one of the programs that got dismantled, it was a subsidy, so she was paying $70 for her monthly treatment, you know. And then it was, now that program got canceled, now it's $900 a month. She is retired, and she only gets from Social Security like $1,000 a month, which these days is not that much. And so, you know, I say my grandma's one of the blessed ones, that she has a big family. There's a lot of us, and we all do our part. But not everyone's as blessed as her.
Right.
And there's a lot of seniors out there who don't have that support system. And so they're deciding right now between, what do I do? Do I buy my medicine? Do I keep my treatments going? What, do I lose my house? Like, and it's sad. It's terrible. And it shouldn't be like this. It should not be like this at all, because the workers are the ones that make the rich people rich. And without workers, I think a lot of these billionaires keep forgetting, without the workers, they're nothing. If all of us decide we're not going to go to work and make a profit for a company, they're going to lose a lot of money. And there's just one of them, and there's 50,000 of us. And this is the war that's going on right now. Is a lot of people are tired. A lot of people are struggling just to make the basic ends meet. And that's not okay. And, you know, everything's going up. Everything's going up. Minimum wage isn't. And minimum wage should at least get you, in my opinion, a full-time minimum wage job should at least get you should be able to afford your rent. You should be able to afford your transportation. And this goes back into having these things that we have to have, like car insurance and medical insurance, but they're outrageously expensive. $400 a month for medical insurance, we have to have it, or at the end of the year we get screwed over by our taxes. Or our car insurance, we have to have it, or they take away our cars, or they revoke our licenses, and they do all these things. But they're so expensive, but yet we have to have them. There should be some type of cap to these where normal people can, okay, if we have to have it, $100, $200 max, it's something we have to have. All of us are doing it. We all have to have it. So there should be some type of cap to protect the people.
Yeah, it should at least be a tax write-off or something. You're
Yeah,
just paying money for nothing, dude.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy stat that you brought. You know, it's a more of a personal story, but you know, just hearing that rate for your grandma, dude, going over 1,000%, that's insane.
Yeah. And like I said, we're lucky we have a good like support system. We're a strong family. We're all doing our part together. But like I said, not everybody has that. And this is what I always I think about all the time. Like, not everybody has what we, because there's a lot of us. Like my family, we're big. We're a big family, and so we're lucky. We're blessed. We have a lot of people who we can like look at each other and help each other and use each other for support. But not everybody has this, and that's not okay. And like with my old company, I was blessed. I got to travel a lot of different states, a lot of towns, a lot of places where people don't have what we have, where minimum wage there is still nothing. And I just can't imagine what's happening to those people who are already super struggling, you know. Price of all this food's going up, and they're still only making $8-9 an hour. And so trying to, I don't know how they're going to do it. This is why we have this. We have to stand up for each other at the end of the day.
Right. Unity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, now hearing your side of the story, dude, like, because I went through your webpage and your bio, and there was this one thing where you said the 14th Amendment. And,
Yeah.
What you're saying right now, it just definitely speaks to it.
Yeah. the 14th Amendment, like, this was one of the things where I still sometimes I think it's a joke, but I don't know what this president we have on. Sometimes these jokes that they say are reality, you know. Birthright citizenship, taking away birthright citizenship is crazy. It's making it's like going back to the war on Latinos. It's just attacking people for no reason, trying to make some type of, because if we go back, if we actually look at history, and you want to start pulling out the 14th Amendment, a lot of these people aren't from here, and their generations immigrated here before, took lands from the native people.
I mean, you're talking about Poland, you're talking about like Germany, you're
Oh,
talking about like Spain,
I'm
like,
talking
all
about
that
when
type
they
of shit.
started making the colonies.
Oh yeah,
They
Way
didn't
back.
ask for visas. They didn't ask for permission to come here. They came here and they created their families here. But yet, you have to remember, on the other side of the continent, the Latinos were already here. The Mexicans were already indigenous to this land. They were already establishing the families, and you push the borders, and now you want to say, hey, you know, birthright citizenship, it's all this. And no, it literally protects a lot of people. You know, before the 14th Amendment was created, you had slavery, which Mexico protected a lot of slaves, which was the war over Texas. And that's how the United States got Texas, was because of war of slavery. Mexico took in slaves because they didn't have slaves, and they became free people in Mexico. And that's why you have these wars. And here, the 14th Amendment created citizenships because slaves, people, human beings, people were not seen as human beings because they were not white men. And the 14th Amendment gave people that ability to be a person, to be actually something. And then you have, you know, all these amendments that come after who changed the way we voted, gave women the right to vote, gave color people the right to vote, gave all these different people voting rights. It took time. It took a lot of fighting, but that's where we're at right now. And to revoke something as important as the 14th Amendment is just attacking. It's not just attacking the Latinos at this point. It's attacking a lot of people. And if you want to go down the route of history, hey, you're attacking yourself too, because you're not native from this land. So you are here through birth as well. So they keep trying to play against one team, but it's going to affect you at the end of the day. It has to. It has to go both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we are gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Conversations are being heavy today. I mean, we talking politics, we talking about the future, we talking about what's going on right now. We'll be back right in 5 minutes. Go ahead and enjoy these programs. Don't go anywhere. Stick around.
Yeah. Don't forget, we're here with Julian Arellano.
With your life, I'm blessed. You look at me. The drink of youth makes it easy for me to keep up with you. Our music's loud, we dance around, screaming out the songs till the lights give out. Jump up and down, we'll run around, skating in the town till the sun goes down. The love we found without a sound, bring back the energy where we all feel it too. All this love's for you. Yes, we all feel this way. Love is here to stay. Where we all feel it too. All this love's for you. Yes, we all feel this way. Love is here to stay. Here to stay. Here to
And just like that, we are back from break. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And now, as you see on camera, Louis is back. He's joining us.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget, this is the Julian Arellano interview here at the Kick It Podcast. It's been a great conversation so far, man. I don't know if you were tuning in on your phone.
I was tuning on it
wow.
I was listening to it on YouTube on the way here. The thing is that I messed up my aux cable insert on the car.
Damn.
Like, yeah, I had it connected to my phone one day, and like I was getting out of the car and I forgot that it was still connected, so I yanked it, and then like the aux cable just messed up. So I had it on my phone, but I had like right here listening. But I'm glad we were able to get you on the podcast, man. I know we talked about it about a month back at the International Women's Honoring Day with Joanne and Chema and those ladies. I'm glad we were able to get you on, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's all of us. Like I said, it's a team.
Mm-hmm.
We all do it as a team, and I'm not gonna win or I'm not gonna go anywhere without you guys. We all have to do this as a team together. We all have to stand strong because all our voices matter, and together we have a bigger voice.
Yeah. So I just want to ask. I don't know if these boys asked, but like, what I found like really interesting is, you going for Congress, but you haven't really done like the city council and like the certain levels that other people go through first. Like, I respect that. What made you just be like, screw that, I'm just gonna jump from that level to try to get to Congress?
So all of our seats are very important. I always tell people, like, our seats on the ground are the most important, which is our mayor, our city council. Those are the ones that make and establish the rules for each city wherever we live, and those are seats that are very important and they affect our lives day to day. But on the other hand, Congress is a very important seat, and one thing that we do lack there is the lack of representation of the working class. We lack the representation of the Latinos. We lack the representation of a lot in Congress. And Congress, it was established for us to have representation in the White House. You have two different parts of it. You have House Representatives and you have Senate. Senate, gives every state the equal opportunity to send two candidates to help establish laws. And you have the House, which is 400 seats. And what this is supposed to represent each of its jurisdictions. And one thing that we don't have a lot that's in there is real people who are representing their jurisdictions. We have a lot of these people who are from political backgrounds. They've always had, a lot of them have had it easy. They went to private Ivy League colleges. They have parents who are in the political game, and they cannot connect with a normal person who wakes up, goes to work, struggles, and has all these laws that are going against them all the time. And you right now we have to fear, like, Is this immigration officer going to pull me over? Even if I'm a U.S. citizen, is this guy going to pull me over on my way to work, pull me out of my car, make me late to work, make me get fired? Like, there's all these things that are going on, and there's not that representation of the working class. There's a few. There's a few in there, and they've done their work. They've done the struggle. And this goes back to, I never wanted to join politics. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, you can ask everyone in my family. My grandma's always been like, you guys need to run for city council. You guys need to get in junior city council. I don't want to deal with that. It's a mess. The political game is a mess. It's full of snakes. It's full of backstabbers. It's full of partyists. It's full of people who, they don't care what your voice opinion is. I'll tell you, just joining in this race, I've had a lot of people talk shit who have sent me emails to my campaign office who are against it. And it shows you. It shows you you have all these people who say they're for the people, who ride on this, I'm for the people, I am the people, but they're not. They don't know what it is like to actually, hey, like I said, I went to school, I struggled, I went to work. I can relate to someone else who has a struggle, who wants to get somewhere in life, who has to work, has their normal job, has bills to pay, and yet still goes to school, goes to night school, and does this little bit of thing. I can relate to the working class. Before I came here, I was at work. I came straight from work. I came here, and this is how my whole political campaign is running. You know, I'm running against people who are just focused. They've had it easier, but this is a part of the struggle. I've always had it twice as hard, and this helps fuel this fire that I have because I've always had to fight twice as hard for things. So I know what it's like. I know a lot of us here at this table have had to fight twice as hard. You know, there's all these things that being a person of color, being a person of ethnic, being just a normal person, we have to fight twice as hard than some people. A lot of people have this privilege. They get to go to Ivy League and they get into politics. They have these easy jobs. They get internships with all these, they get easy, sweet jobs that we aren't even we're not even considered for. And we've always are over here fighting twice as hard. And it's time that we have a representative who knows what it is like to fight twice as hard for things, who knows what it's like to wake up, go to work, and try to get change for the people. Because if you look at it, people are tired. A lot of people are tired. A lot of us are tired that we have to fight twice as hard for something that someone else gets so easy. And it's not fair. It's not fair at all. And that's what this campaign is. Like, I'm used to fighting twice as hard. I'm used to it. Like, I bet you one of these guys who went to an Ivy League school came in and jumped in where I started, they would have already gave up. Because they've had it easy. They didn't know what it's like to fight for their seat. And they're just politicians. And they're just sitting in these seats, and they really don't care about us. They don't care about the working class. They're just getting that paycheck. They're just sitting there. They have the money to run political ads. You hear their names everywhere because they have the money to put their name out there. And it's time for a change. It's time for us to, hey, you know what? Like, I feel like this last election, people are waking up. People are tired. You see this weekend with this nationwide protest. Yeah, you have this whole, like, people, we're not just waking up. A lot of people have been there, but now it's like, okay, we're starting to feel that fire stronger together. And I like it. These things fuel that fire. I'll tell you, some days I wake up and it's like, dude, what? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like you said, like, you just jumped into Congress. Like, you didn't even start the baby steps, but someone had to do it.
Yeah.
Someone had to do it. Someone who knows what it's like to get up, to work, and to fight, and work twice as hard for some things in life, has to fight for that seat and represent the community here in northern San Diego and the southern Orange County district, which is District 49, which is what I'm running for. There's a lot of us here. And I feel like in that way, in that perspective, a lot of people can relate to me, especially this last one. I'm tired of politicians. I'm tired of these people who are just politicians who have it easy. Like I said, they don't even know their neighbors. They don't know you. They don't know you. I may not know everybody in the city, but may not know your name, but I probably seen you somewhere. I know you from somewhere. I probably ran by you in school, in all my life here. If you're from this area, um, you probably know, whether it's me personally or you know someone I'm related to or I've seen you out. Like I know people. I know people around here. I know every person on my street. I know almost everybody in my neighborhood. Not as much anymore because a lot of people have been getting gentrified, and a lot of people have been leaving and new people are coming in. But I know my neighbors. I know what cars park on my street. I'm not a politician where I don't know you. I just come home. I know my neighbors. I know you. I smile at you. May not know your name, but I've seen you around. I know you. I've seen your face, and it's okay.
Now I'm interested. You were talking about you've gotten some emails and concerns. What are some of the more colorful emails or comments that you've gotten since you started running for Congress?
So one of the funnest ones is, so when I originally started this run and I was fighting for it, I was like, I'm gonna go for a Democratic seat. I feel like I fall more with the Democratic Party. I'm gonna fight for that seat. But you have these people, these partyists, who don't want to give up their seat. And you've seen the DNC do it before with Bernie Sanders. You have a great candidate who relates to people, who people want, but yet you don't have the Democratic Party to back them up. And this is exactly why I decided to run as an independent, because I've had these emails where people are like, oh, you just want to split the Democratic vote. And then like I started looking into it, and I was like, I started sitting on it and thinking about it, and it's been driving me crazy for the last 2 weeks. And I was like, you know what? I don't even think I really want that. Like, I want to run as independent because I feel like I can relate to both sides. There's people on both sides who, it's just for the people now. It's not even, I'm not a partyist. I don't care. I'm not going to just back up my Democrats because we're Democrats. No. Well, if I get in this seat, it's literally what's going to be best for my constituents. Right. This is why I'm hosting that town hall. Not for me to talk. I want you to come to talk to me. I want to hear you. I want to hear what your struggle is. I reach out to so many people who are in the political game, and they don't even give you the time of day because they hear, oh, you're running for the Democratic side. I'm not even going to look at you because they're standing with their party. And Mike Levin is a strong Democrat right now for this. But we have a very strong Republican coming from North County to run for that seat. And so they're just they would rather throw away their vote to their party rather than listening to what the candidates want and what the people want, which is what ended up happening with Bernie Sanders back then, which is why I decided, you know what? I'm running as an independent, and I'm doing this from a different side. Not going to try to fight for the Democratic seat because I have this feeling, even if like things go good and I get this support, I feel like the DNC at the end of the day will give it to the stronger name who's, hey, I'll be honest, he's had the seat for 6 years, so he's, this new guy who people relate to, or this guy who's holding the seat. And I feel like I'll be another Bernie, and just they'll cut it, and no, so that's why I've decided to do the independent route and try to get, like I said, there are Republicans out there who don't agree with Trump. They don't agree with the Trumponomics that are going on, and they need someone who they can vote for, who they can relate to. I'm not against Republicans. I'm not against Democrats. I'm for the people. I literally want to hear my people. I want to hear everybody come out and talk. What are your concerns? You can go on my website. You can read what my concerns are, what my routes that I'm taking. I literally break everything down of the steps that I will take for that certain person or that certain bill. Like if you click on civil rights, it breaks into 3 groups: minorities, women, and LGBT. And if you click on that specifically, that type of group, it will break it down and it will tell you, like, this is my plan for this group. This is my plan. Women's rights. My family is 90% women, and we need more rights for women. We need a better healthcare system for women. People I love the most are my sisters, and my whole life, they've gone to the doctor, and the cure from the doctor for everything that they've had birth control. Take birth control. It's the cure for it all, you know. And it's the most bullshit thing out there, you know. And women need a full, real medical studies into their body. They're, you know, we're not the same. Biologically, men and women, we have different things, and we need to both genders need to be studied to be able to give you the proper medical care. And that's where, like, my women's rights, I'll tell you, someone tries to, like, take away my sister's right to vote, I'm gonna fight for it. And this is where a lot of people are like, why would I fight for this guy? Why am I gonna vote for this guy? Because the things that are on my website affect me 100% personally, from immigration to women to civil rights to minorities. Every little thing that's on my website affects me 100%. And that's how, you know, in a guaranteed way, I'm going to fight for it. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, your representative is going to fight for themselves. And so if you know they're going to fight for themselves in those things that are going to affect them and the people they love, you know, that is going to end up trickling down on you. You know, I'm going to fight for the Latinos. Why? Because I'm a Latino. And whether or not you are me, or, you know, that is the person I see. Okay, if, you know, that Latino, they're going to fight for you, I'm going to have their back, because whether or not they're fighting for themselves, no matter what, that ends up affecting me as a Latino as well. And yeah.
That's right. Don't forget, everybody, we're here kicking it with Julian Arellano, running for District 49. Powerful words, Julian. Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And shout out to everybody viewing, man, and in the comments on YouTube. I don't know if we can segue to the comments real quick. Piccolo, can you hook us up? All right, so we got Jenya saying best guy for president. You could feel the motivation on that. And I don't know about the IG. We got anything on IG, Piccolo?
Yeah, that's a great compliment right there.
Well, not too many comments on the IG, but a lot of people tuning in. We definitely appreciate that.
We appreciate the
yeah.
follow right there. I saw that. Shout out to you, my guy. There we go. Grizzy _ 1988. Appreciate the follow.
Yeah. But let me going back to one of the things that you said of people, you know, being really super loyal to a party. Like, I think a lot of people have made their political party part of their identity, to the point where, like, oh, okay, oh, you're a Republican, oh, you're a Democrat, I can't talk to you, I can't hang out with you. You know, how do you plan on not convincing, but being able to talk to people like that because of the fact that you're independent and you would be willing to talk to both Republican and Democrat, that won't sit too well with the other party?
Yeah. I'm for the people. That's the best way to answer this. I'm not for my party. And this is why I decided to go independent, because I feel I am a very social person. I've met people from all over the place. I've traveled around the world. I've traveled throughout the United States. I've been a lot of places. I've met people from both sides. I have met amazing people who are Republicans. I've met amazing people who are Democrats. And like I said, I split parties into two different ways. I split you between a Trump Republican, and I split you between a real Republican. I split you between a Democrat and a far left Democrat. And there's all these people who are in between, like I am, who I agree with both sides on certain things. I disagree with both sides on things. And that voice in the middle is completely lost. And I feel like we have to start bringing that back. And I see this with a lot of people now starting this next election cycle. They are going to be running more independent because they don't follow where the parties are, because the two major parties forget about the people in the middle. They're just pinned to fight each other like a boxing match, but they don't care about anybody in the middle. They don't care about the people who they're actually affecting at the end of the day. They're just standing with their party just because it's their party. And they're not standing with their party because they forget, at the end of the day, this seat that I'm going to be representing, I'm not just representing Democrats. I'm not just representing Republicans. I'm representing people from both sides. And so you have to be able, I feel like I'm blessed. I've met a lot of people, and you have to be able to talk to people. And this is what I love to do. This is why I'm having the forum, and I'm inviting both parties. I want to hear your perspective from both sides, because one of the things studying communications I learned was we all have a different viewpoint of life through the lenses that we've created by ourselves. Between you and your siblings, you have different perspectives on life because certain ways that you've grown up and just the different lives that we've all had. We don't have the exact same lenses. You cannot have the exact same way of looking at life as someone else. There's always going to be some type of argument there. But you have to be able to sit down with someone, actually have a conversation, listen to them. I watch Fox News. I watch CNN. I watch them both. I listen to them both. I read the articles that are published myself. I go to the White House website. I read these myself because I want my opinion in it. And then I go and I look at the both medias, and I want to see from both perspectives, why do you think like this? What about it is making you see it from this side? Is it racism? Is it your lens of fear? A lot of people, they're against the southern border, and they're like, build the wall and build the wall. They've never even been here. They've never been to the southern border. They just want to build it because of hate, and they're taught hate. They're taught racism. There are these things where people, going back to like war on the Latinos, it's all this hate that's going on. It's all this hate that's pushed through media on, both sides, because some people are getting overwhelmed. People are getting overwhelmed. A lot of people are getting overwhelmed, and it's just having those conversations, talking to people. I don't care if you're blue or you're red. Talk to me. I want to understand you. And I think this is like half of it why I wanted to get into like law school, and I want to go be a lawyer, because I want to hear you. I want to actually understand you. Like, we all have stories. We all have backgrounds. And this goes into like nothing's getting done for the people because you just have red fighting blue, and they're not listening to each other. No one's listening. And that's what's wrong with our country right now.
Nah, I agree. Everybody's too busy talking. No one's really listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of nonsense, to be honest, dude. Everybody just wants the best for themselves, and they don't care about anybody else.
Well, I think that's what the system has been wanting. That's why you've been seeing, well, at least in my opinion. I don't know. This is me putting my tinfoil hat on.
I mean, that's the reason why we have social classes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is the reason why you're seeing like a decrease in like families being started. Was it's pretty much just everybody kind of be out there for themselves.
Right.
It's like if you don't agree with what I say, then screw you. You're not. We're all just stuck in little echo chambers that that echo the same thing that we're thinking, the same hate, the same whatever, and that varies from party to party or ethnicity to ethnicity, and all that. And that's what they want us to do, man. They want to keep us separated.
Yeah.
True.
You got another comment up there, right, Vic?
Yeah. Let's read that comment from Pina, saying, Julian is amazing. Thank you, Julian, for standing up for all of us and taking this leap of faith. Love everything you have said. Yes.
Yeah,
thank you.
And
man, these are starting to come in through. Woo, hey, appreciate the comments, guys.
Julian, please share Venmo for donations.
Ooh. Yeah. You know what? We'll get to it right now.
Support the GOAT. Support the GOAT, man.
That sounds good.
You want to go ahead and drop that Venmo name that people can donate to your campaign?
Let's run it.
Yeah.
Julian,
Actually, going on the website Ariano for Congress, there's a whole section you could donate. And if you go to my website, you go to another campaign website, you'll see my donations are really for the people. $5, $10, $20 donations. There's an option to donate whatever you would like. Where if you go to another person's website, their donations start at $500, $150, $200. So you can see
I can't do that,
the difference in who we are really supporting. I am a working class. I know what it's like. $5, $10, okay. And altogether, it ends up building up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All the little bit helps. Where you have all these other people who are just getting these big, crazy donations. Who's donating this? where is it coming from? But Arellano for Congress, that is the website. That you click on donations. The links are right there. It helped. Every little bit helps. The Venmo's on the website as well. Everything's there.
Heck yeah, that's a clip right there. Thank you.
ArellanoForCongress.com. And aside from Oceanside, being on Congress, that encapsulates a bigger area than just North County.
Huge.
How have you been able to, connect with some of those people in those different areas?
Well, a lot of it is I'm blessed. I have a huge family. We are all over North County, and so my district starts in San Clemente in Orange County, and it comes all the way down. It runs all the way down the coastline, all the way to Del Mar, to Solana Beach right here, and it goes all the way inward up to Vista. And so, being a person, like I'm from North County. I'm from here. I work here. I drive around here. I go to everywhere, and just knowing people. And so, like I was saying, I'm starting my town hall in my city. Mm-hmm. We have Oceanside is the biggest city in this district, and so I'm starting from home. And after I get home anchored, I'm reaching out. And my team right now. We're not huge. We're it's a lot of support from people who are like, you know what, I like your ideas. I read your website. I'm jumping on with you, and they want to see a change. And so from this first event, we're going to be branching off when we're trying to get an event in these other cities who are in my district as well, because to me, I want to hear the people. I want to actually hear you. I'm at these rallies with you guys. I'm at these protests. This is where you can catch me. You talk to me, take pictures, like do it. Like I am here. I'm looking out. People send me things like, oh, will you come to this? Yeah, for sure. I'll set up a booth there. I'll set up resource fair. People, it's the little things. It's communication together.
Any little spot you can jump
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
Fit in where you fit in.
Yeah.
All right.
Blessings like coming on here with you guys. Like this invitation to come out here. It's amazing. Thank you guys.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Have you ever podcasted before?
No, you guys are my first podcast I've been on.
Pop another cherry there.
And actually, because of you guys, I've actually had 2 other podcasts to reach out and want to do something, and it's amazing. It starts somewhere, and I thank you guys.
Oh yeah, it's a whole network jumping in this world.
Yeah.
It gets crazy, man. I can tell you that much. It gets crazier.
Yeah.
It's a nice little underground system we have going on.
Yeah, man. Honestly, gracias a Dios for that.
Yeah. Well, this has nothing to do with any of the political stuff, man. But I just noticed you have a pretty long scar down your arm, man. What happened there?
I got in a car accident. 31 now, so 12, 13 years ago, and
Damn.
I broke my arm in the car accident. It's metal, so I got plates and screws in here.
Yeah, she looks like a centipede, bro. Oh, for sure. Dang, well, I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah.
I do want to do a call to action.
Yeah.
A call to action on Wednesday, City Hall meeting coming up. Eric Joyce and Jimmy Figueroa got on the ballot to bring up to protect tenants' rights. Coming up, go ahead and bring up your own tenant story. Go up. If you can't, you can go ahead and email over there at oceansidegovernment.com, right?
.gov.
No, it's
.gov.
It's .gov.
.gov.com. All right.
That
Cool.
replaces
No,
.com.
no, there's no .com. It's just .gov.
.gov.
Yeah, .gov replaces .com.
Okay.
Like how there's like .net, .org, .com. Yeah.
Damn. You see, the times are crazy. But
Pull up to City Council, man, on Wednesday.
We also have another comment from Jenya. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Saying, Julian, we just sent you $150 to Venmo.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Grassroots movement right there, man.
That is
Thank
great.
you. Every little bit
Shout out to
helps.
Hell yeah.
And so one more question I have, man. Since you started your campaign for Congress, like how has that changed? How has that changed, like the way you think and like the way you move?
I feel like the way I've everything, every little thing, the way you dress, what you have on, every little thing people are noticing. Everything you say can come back to you. So you every little thing, you have to think about every little thing. And I'm not from a political background, but I'm being me 100%. At the end of the day, no matter what I'm doing, I'm being me. I'm still wearing my clothes that I've owned from before. I bought at the outlets. I don't care. And I'm being me. I'm as genuine as it gets. I'm not changing. I'm not letting these other politicians affect the way I think. I'm not gonna just like I said. I've gotten those hate emails where they're like, "Oh, you're just dividing the party." Oh, no. There's a lot of people who didn't come out and vote. Their voice, they feel like it wasn't represented this last election. They didn't come out and vote because they didn't see anybody who they can vote for or they can relate to, and someone who understands what it's like. And so it's just being genuine. It's just being me. Like, I am me. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I'm going to fight for you. I fight for people all the time. A lot of people who know me know I always stick up for people. I like I was saying earlier, I'm blessed that I am white passing. I use that a lot of times to stick up for people in a lot of situations, or I'm, use your benefits that you have just to help people. You can ask my staff who I manage. They'll tell you, hey, I'm taking bias on here, but they'll tell you what kind of manager I am, how I run things, how I listen to my staff, how I organize my store that I run, and they'll tell you, like, you know what, he actually will listen to you. He actually cares. He's not like other people who are just in charge because they're in charge. No, this guy actually, we tell him something, he listens. And that's what it is. That's what it is at the end of the day. And I feel like this has helped me. My travels have helped me. Being in management for a long time, these things have helped me because they help you relate to people from different worlds, different backgrounds, and making sure that things run smoothly, and that you have to hear everybody's opinions, and all my life experience has helped in this, and it fuels the fire. You have people attacking people I love. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight. And this is why I just went straight for Congress, because it was one of those things where I'm like, we have a Democratic person who sits in our seat, but I don't see that fuel. I don't see that fire in that person to fight for the people, and it's time. Not that they're bad. I just don't see that there's that fight. We need a lot more politicians like AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Crockett from Jasmine Crockett, who stand up. You see them all the time fighting for their districts. You see them fighting for their constituents. You see Al Green, at the speech to Congress, standing up to the president. He's saying, my people need Medicare. These are the people. These are what we need as representation. We have Senate seats where we get equal representation no matter what on the state. But each jurisdiction, the House of Representatives, is to support someone, to send someone to the White House to help establish laws, help create bills, to represent and have your voice heard as what that jurisdiction is. This is why the House of Representatives is supposed to be different people of different backgrounds, different classes, different lenses, because they're supposed to be representing their part of the country who sent them there.
Well, Julian, super excited to see what comes out of this campaign for you. I know you still got a whole year ahead, so trust me, man. Once it gets closer to June 2026, we're definitely going to tap in and see where you're at.
Yeah, I'd love to come back, speak. I'll send you guys the invites of all these events that we have upcoming. I send you guys different ones. Yeah, I love it. I want to hear your guys' voices. I want to hear everyone's voice.
Yeah. Well, you guys hear our voices every Monday, live from the podcast here in Oceanside.
That's right. And don't forget, this is the Julian Arellano interview here at the Kicker Labs. Julian running for District 49 Congress. Beautiful, dude. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great episode all around. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the likes and all the shares that this came about. And also, shout out to Homegirl out there that donated to his campaign.
Woo, that was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Right. With all that being said, though, we appreciate y'all sticking around for tonight. You can catch us around next time.
Wait, hold on, Bruce. Before you head out, okay?
All right.
Julian, one more time, plug in. Where can people reach out?
People reach out, ArellanoforCongress.com. You can reach out on Instagram, Ariano for Congress. Direct emails to the campaign office, Ariano for Congress 49 for the district, and at Gmail. We're all there. I have a link with you guys. Reach out. I want to hear you. There's volunteer signups. Like, if you really want to see a change and you feel like I'm a candidate for you, I would love for these people to come out, volunteer. I have a lot of volunteer opportunities. If you're not from my district and you can't come out volunteer, there's ways to donate to help get the message out there, to help get things out there. But I'll be honest, I'm out here fighting. When I get out of here, I'm probably going to go back and start working on some more campaign material, editing things. This is what I do every day. Work, go, work on campaign. That's life right now.
Well, keep on fighting, brother. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you. And one more quick plug for you guys. Make sure to join us this Saturday, April 12th, Black Plague Brewing. We have Sugar Free coming to town. I'll be opening up with my band. We have Arm the Poet. We have a lot of cool stuff for you guys. Make sure to check it out and keep tuning in.
Limited seatings. Tickets will sell out before this weekend. Yeah.
All right, Bruce, take it away.
All right, and with that being said, you can catch us around next time. Yo, thank you for sipping up with us, thank you for talking up with us, thank you for kicking it.